it's indescribable. I'm not articulate enough to describe to you that feeling and that rush that you get from that crowd pumping into you like that. I cannot remember when The Undertaker has looked that damn good.
I don't think it's going to get any better than that. I came through the curtain, just whispered in Vince's ear, so I said, I think it's it. He's like, Mark, whatever you want to do. I think you got a lot more left, but it's completely up to you. It's your decision. You do what's right for you. It kind of went too good a little bit. I might have a couple more left, but yeah, I got to get through that. I got to work through that.
The kid in me, it's always rooting for him and always there. I always want to see that continue. The friend in me, there's a certain time where you got to choose a different path.
I felt good about where I was, and I left Philadelphia. I was happy. The match came off the way it was supposed to go. Went to Hawaii for 2 weeks and had a great time. I was content.
I wasn't counting him out just yet. I really always expect him to come back. I think the pressure he puts on himself plays a part of it, but look, Undertaker's been his identity for 30 years. And it's been his identity for so long, I think he just isn't sure what Mark Calloway does next.
Mark and I had a lot of conversations in that time, and the I'm done conversation, maybe he believed it, maybe he didn't. But I never got the feeling talking to him, I'm done. Ever.
Hello.
The easiest person to lie to is yourself. The dragon is still there, and you're still chasing. You're not done. What he deserves is not the moment. He deserves to be satisfied.
Hello.
So they wanted me for TV at the Garden, and it's the Mecca. It's really the home of the WWE. That's special. It's something that you don't get all the time.
Isabel.
One of my favorite aspects of
¿Cómo está
working
ahí?
in this building is all the iconic shots in the hallways. When I came out of my dressing room, the first thing that I saw was Elvis, and then right next to Elvis was Ali. I would look at those pictures right before I went out, knowing that I was about to go out and perform in the same arena as two of my lifelong idols had done. So I'm gonna bring a tear to the glass eye right here.
Hola, guacho. Háblame. Hola, Isabela. ¿Cómo estás, Isabela? Tanto tiempo, Isabela.
It seems kind of hokey, but for me, it was just a little bit of a reminder of the importance of Madison Square Garden. I mean, that was just truth. Everybody knows it takes me a long time to get to the ring. If you're in tune with what I do, most people can
Hola,
tell
Melón
now that
Tierra.
it takes me a little longer to leave because I don't know.
Te saludo, Melón. Melón Tierra. Te faltó el M.
Not only in the garden, but everywhere I've worked.
¿Por qué no tienes más
They know how
comentarios?
much
¿Por qué no
I
han comentado?
appreciate them and how much they've sustained me and helped me get to the ring on nights when the aches and the pains and the broken
Otro video
bones
que debe
and
tener
everything
mucho,
else was
pero
going on. It was their cheering and them holding up their lighters and them shouting rest in peace that would get me through a lot of
otro
nights.
video que debe tener muchos comentarios. ¿Cuál otro video?
I wanted to come out here and take a minute and absorb all this. For the past 30 years, I've considered these hallowed grounds my home. Now, I don't know how many times I'm going to get to come home anymore.
Estoy viendo
But there's one thing
un
that I want everyone to
documental
remember
de
about this
Undertaker
place, the legends
y
that made their
morir
name
de calor.
here,
Esas son las
and the
actividades de hoy.
heroes that were created right here
Por eso el look de
in
ahora.
Madison Square Garden.
Uno que había muchos muñecos y cosas así, la del Bio Bio.
And that's special. After 30 years of doing this stuff, get that kind of reaction still lets you know that they appreciate how hard that you tried to work for them, and a lot of energy out there. I wish I could bottle it. So far, I ain't figured that part out. But personally, I'm at a spot where if I don't walk in the ring or get in the ring again, perform in the ring again, I'm okay. And it took me a long time to get to that spot. You know, I would be at home and think, yeah, I'm good. And then I would come to work, and you get an ovation and that kind of energy out there, and then you think, yeah, I could still do this, you know. When you're in the business that we're
¿Y qué estoy
in,
haciendo?
you
Nada,
have to see
acá
other people
viendo
get in the
el
belly,
documental
live for the crowd,
y
live for the bob.
me corté un ratito para que
Now, finding
hablemos un
something
rato.
that brings you all those same
Hoy estoy
highs
spoileando ahí el
and
cinturón.
all the great stuff that comes with the business and that adrenaline and all the stuff.
Y tú, Isabel,
It can take a
Isabel,
while.
¿cómo estás? ¿Eres la misma Isabela de siempre o que aquí me salen otros nombres?
You know that, but I'm sure I can. My mind still works the same way, and I just gotta physically feel a little bit better, but I can still do this, and you think you can move the way you did, and you can't. When you have to start thinking about this, it becomes really difficult.
Bueno,
When I
chao.
was young and I was out on the road all the time, you never think about getting hurt. Or something catastrophic happening. You don't. You go out and you work hard and you do your thing every night.
Se va Isabela.
Nowadays, I think a lot more because one, I don't move as well as I used to move. I don't have the reaction time that I once did. Due to injuries, I don't have the strength
Bueno,
that I
chao.
used
No.
to have. And all those things, they start getting in your head and you worry about something catastrophic happening. Something nearly catastrophic happened in Saudi the last time I was there. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was just something that happened. But I was 2 inches probably away from having my neck broken. Wow. I was 2 inches away from making my wife a widow. My kid's father was.
Bye. No, se va. No te vayas, chao.
Once those thoughts, once they get in there, it's really difficult to get them out.
Once you start
No
thinking
te
those
vayas,
things,
chao.
it's like a hamster wheel.
No te vayas,
You just
chao.
keep hearing that voice of, man,
Isabela,
really
¿de
can I
dónde
put
eres?
myself
¿Cuántos años
back?
tienes? Porque no eres la misma Isabela que se
The
conecta
shambles
siempre.
in your mind of, do I do this? Do I stop now? Do I keep going?
Pensé que era ella.
Rough.
Tantas personas me voy.
Where am I going to be 10 years from now if I keep going? And
Where are you
especially
from?
if I don't have that burning desire here to go
¿Por
out
qué no
and do
tienen
it.
tantas personas?
The big part of it is I'm okay. I'm okay mentally and emotionally if I'm not an in-ring performer anymore. I just want to capture, I really want to capture what these last few years and, things that we've had to go through to get out there. That's more important to me than I think anything else is
¿De dónde eres? ¿Cuántos años tienes, Isabela?
the will to be the best that I can be this part of my career. And now, and working my way as I did that, working my way to where I am now, where I'm good to walk away. Because when we started this whole thing, I wasn't Not to be a prima donna, but if you could go to makeup and find something to like makeup a little bit. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, not me. Yeah, cut that. I don't wear makeup, man. It's my war mask. That's what I used to tell my dad. I brought my dad one time when he was still alive. I was in Houston, working at the old Summit. I brought my dad backstage with me. He was kind of shadowing me everywhere I went, and it was time to start getting ready. And he's asking me questions about my boots or whatever it was, my hat, coat. And then I did the eyes last, and I looked over at him, and he was like, he's just shaking his head like, yes, Dad, you're 6'8", 330-pound son is putting on eye makeup. He's like, I would have never. But there was nobody any prouder than my dad. No one more upset about my career choice, but no one more proud by the end of it. Because I was in college, I had a full scholarship. And then I decided that I wanted to become a professional wrestler. Just thought that was the stupidest thing. You get an education, and you get to go play basketball. Are you kidding me? And everything's paid for? Yes, sir. You're walking away from, what are you going to do in the rest of your life? We'll figure it out then. I miss it. The priority of my life is to be a good husband and father. So.
Steve, this is to you. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3.
I could not start the debut episode of the Broken Skull Sessions with a better guest than I have tonight. He's on the Mount Rushmore and the greatest character in the history of the business, the one and only Undertaker. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, man. Been a minute. How you doing? I'm feeling, 30 plus years, I think, you probably got a pretty good idea how I feel. It's not an easy life. You really got to see who I am, and you got to see me in regular clothes and our audience. They've
Hello,
been
people.
clamoring for that for years and years.
Hello,
to see
people.
behind the hat and the coat. And I couldn't keep my stuff straight at home.
Right.
But if you had a problem at work, I could help you out. But that's how engrossed I was in what we did.
He was just taking the temperature, going with what his gut was telling him in his heart, and can't say anybody ever loves the business more than I do. But a guy who loves the business like he does, and that's a bunch, and is still wondering what's next.
What gets me is when people tell me what I need to do. Nobody knows what I need but me, in the sense
Estoy
of
muerto
when
que
it's
lo
time to
contigo,
go,
Maya.
when I'm gonna hang it up.
There's got to be some finale somewhere.
Regardless of anything, I'm gonna write my own story, and I'm gonna write my own ending. I had no idea that would be a kind of a gateway.
My buddy and I were talking, and he said that he watched the podcast with Stone Cold, and he wants to retire on his own terms.
Pride is a son of a bitch. It's not so much that I feel like I have anything left to prove to the business, give them the business. It's personal challenges with me.
It almost sounded like he was going to go one more match, or maybe 2 more. And I thought, if he's going to do something, how can I be one of those matches if he's going to do more than one? I just want to be one of them.
Broken Skull Sessions with The Undertaker and Mark Calloway. Cheers.
Enjoyed it.
I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. All he can say is no. It's not a big deal. I didn't ask Vince, because if Taker doesn't want to do it, well, then it's not going to happen. So I called Undertaker, and we just started chatting.
I had a pretty good idea of what he was calling for. He goes, when you were on Steve's show, you said you were going to kind of go do things on your own terms. What's that mean? I mean, are you going to work? You want to do something? He goes, I would love to do something with you at Mania. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know. I was like, bro, honestly, I said, I would have loved to work with you 10, 15 years ago. I said, man, I think we could have tore the place down. I said, I don't have any, aspirations of getting back in the ring. And he goes, man, just think about it.
If it's me, I'm looking at the roster. I go, right, I want AJ Styles. That's who I'm going to have my last match.
Monillo, hola, Monillo.
Because
¿Cómo
AJ is
estás,
a guy
Monillo?
who, from an athletic dramatic standpoint can help him have that final chapter, I think.
We talked about how some of his matches with smaller guys like Shawn Michaels have always been his better matches.
For some reason, I really tend to understand the dynamic between someone my size and someone AJ's size. And then putting something together that people can sink their teeth into and understand and get the story.
These guys are throwing bombs at each other.
I think he's an awesome storyteller with his matches.
Night after night, AJ Styles continues to be the best performer of our generation. In my opinion, AJ Styles is the best wrestler on 2 feet right now, and Undertaker can trust him. And at this point in Undertaker's career right now, he's got to be out there with someone he can trust.
Saludos de Puerto Rico.
Oddly enough, we've been vacation with
Yamilet.
one of AJ's best
Saludos,
friends
Yamilet.
for almost 10
¿Cuántos
years.
años
So
tienes?
we've gotten to know AJ and Lindy and
¿Cuánto
his
tienes?
kids through them. So AJ reached out. He's like, hey, take it. You've got one more in. You might be honored. And Mark looked at me and I was like, nobody better. There's absolutely
Isabela
nobody
García
better
volvió.
to get into the ring with if you're going to do it. If you do it. You know, he's like, really? You're like steering me in the direction I thought you wouldn't steer me in. I'm like, it's AJ. Like, it could be magic.
So I said, give me a couple weeks to think about this, and I'll get back with you.
I said, well, just so you know, whatever your decision is the right one.
When you're AJ Styles, and you're as good as AJ Styles is, when you call Mark, that's an intriguing dragon chase.
Madeline that I would come down here and work with some of their big guys. I'm pretty sure they were all fairly nervous. A lot of times guys, they don't look genuine because they're trying to be something that they're not. And that's a difficult thing to figure out. And once they found out that I wasn't going to shred them, I think they felt a little more comfortable. Everything looked like it was there. That's a nice way of saying that was some stiff shit.
And business is in his heart. He wants to give everything he has to anybody who will listen. So anytime we're in Orlando, he's at the PC. And he's helping the guys and he's helping the girls.
It's, I think, not only important that people like The Undertaker have on their knowledge, it's imperative to the survival of the business. This business has always been handed down from one to the next, to the generation to the generation. They make it theirs, then they pass that knowledge down on to others.
I got to know him best on European tours, picking his brain, cracking open a cold one after a match. I remember my first match with him, it was on SmackDown.
Well, it's the chance of a lifetime for this 22-year-old who's only been in the WWE for a few weeks.
I could tell he liked